Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Your Morning Drive. I am your host with the most, Logan Lewis. Thanks for joining us today. We're super excited to have everyone here. Big shout out to Fireworks Co-working for having us today in their studio. They are a creative co-working space that's dedicated to lifting up local creatives, entrepreneurs, business owners, anything in between. They support you. If you want to get out of the house, you can do that. If you want to stop working at that home office, if you want to try something new for a day instead of going to your local coffee shop, you can try Fireworks. You can tell them Logan sent you from the podcast and they'll give you a free day pass so you can hang out here for the day, enjoy their amenities, their lovely staff, and everything else they have to offer. So again, just tell them Logan sent you, or if you book them online, you can use the code DRIVE to get that benefit. Before we dive in, of course, I'd love for you to follow on the socials: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, not Twitter. I don't know why I said that. TikTok and LinkedIn. No Twitter. No Twitter. Twitter's hard.
It
Twitter's
is.
hard. Twitter's hard. Yeah, follow on those platforms. We got updates, behind the scenes stuff, more info about me, more info about our guests, the sponsors of the podcast. Everything else is on social media. And of course, whether you're listening on Apple or Spotify or watching on YouTube, wherever you're at, just hit that subscribe button, hit the follow button so that when new episodes come out every Wednesday, you have them at the top of your notifications for the day so you can start your morning drive out with Your Morning Drive. Let's go ahead and dive right in. My guest today is a Georgia native and a seasoned mortgage professional with over 20 years of experience helping families achieve their dream of homeownership. Detail-oriented and known for her problem-solving skills, she's built a reputation for structuring loans that truly fit each client's needs, whether they're first-time home buyers or seasoned investors. As a branch leader at Alcova Mortgage, she continues to serve her community with integrity and heart, giving back through local organizations and events honoring first responders and military families. Please welcome my new friend, Lindsay Frangie.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you, finally.
Yeah, I know,
Been
right? Feels
talking
like
for
we've talked for like 6 months.
I think it's been like a year.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Fun. I didn't get to tell you this before because I was for some reason not in the zone. I told you I was moving a little slow today, but I was going to tell you that this thing works best when it's close to you.
Close to you?
So
Okay.
if you move, just take it with you, kind
Okay.
of. But because I adjust a lot too, yeah, just generally pretty close. It's perfect
Well,
right
thanks
there.
for its tip.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Just want to make sure that your voice is heard,
Right?
literally.
Well, I'm not hard to, listen to. So I'm usually a loud voice in
Yeah.
the crowd.
Who the hell are you? I mean, so we became friends on Facebook a year ago because I went through this. I think I posted something on Facebook in like a Cherokee Connect maybe
Yeah.
and said like, I've got a podcast. Who wants to do it? And like you, I think, and a bunch of other people commented on it, and it was like 70 people that were
Oh,
just like, I want to do
wow.
it. I want to do it. And so I was like, oh God. And I got maybe it was like more like 150 people. Like the list was so enormous that I was like, wow, this is like 4 years.
You know what's funny is that there's other people who post in Cherokee Connect and they have like 400 people who comment. But once you get back to them, they're like, oh, no, I'm too busy. So it's good to have a pool of people because some of them will drop out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've had people record an episode and then be like, you don't have to release it. And I'm like, really? You don't want it out there?
Well, maybe they're not proud of what they said.
Well, I did have one. Yeah, that's a good point. I did have one that we recorded maybe like 3 months ago, and she texted me the day after.
He released it.
No, she texted me because we kind of talked about some values on a certain side of the spectrum.
Right.
And the day after we recorded it, Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
Oh, yeah.
So she texted me and was just like, hey, I'm kind of nervous about like everything right now, so let's not release it at all. And I was like, I could just cut that 10 minutes out that we talked about that subject. She
Right.
was like, nah, just don't release it at all. And I was like, fuck,
Oh,
shit. You can
yeah.
curse, by the way,
Okay.
in case you're a potty mouth.
Well, I definitely do have my moments. especially in the mortgage industry.
Yeah. Wow.
I sound like I have Tourette's sometimes.
Well, so do I. I talk like I have no. I this week I made I had a conscious thought of I need to stop cursing as much. So I feel
I've
like,
said that. I just got baptized last month,
oh,
so
congratulations.
thank you.
That's
Thank you.
amazing.
Yes. So I've kind of made a conscious effort just to try to be kinder and to try to spread the love that he would spread and not to curse. But, I just feel like words are a lot less dangerous, I guess. And maybe that's the wrong way to feel, but a lot of times when I curse, it's when I'm working on a file or, frustrated. So even when I curse in front of people, now it feels a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just feel like a little,
A little
I
dirtier.
don't want to say like a sting, but you just kind of a little shiver.
Yeah,
Maybe.
because it's like, oh, but I mean, shit. At the end of the day, things come out, and they say that. What did they say? That more intellectual people curse.
Well, if that's the case, what the fuck is up?
I know exactly, man.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah,
I know
there
she
you go.
hates hearing that.
Well, I mean, we'll talk about some good things on this, so they'll be redeemed.
They will be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what's so funny is as a kid, you never hear your parents curse, but then as you grow up, maybe they make a conscious decision like, okay, our kids are older. We can like start
Maybe that's some people's
talking
kids.
more freely. But
Yeah.
like I never heard my mom cuss.
Oh,
Ever.
me either.
But
Me
now
either.
as an adult, like she blew the F-bomb on the phone with me the other day, just in casual conversation. I was like,
Because
damn,
you're an
all right.
adult now.
I guess so, but like
Yeah, you have
sometimes it
grown
doesn't
up
feel like
ears.
it. It's it's weird
You're
when you
still her kid.
right when you're with your parents. It's always like it's
Yeah.
like, oh, take care of me.
They're
You're
perfect.
right.
They can't do wrong.
No.
So when they drop the F-bomb, you're like, what?
Yeah.
What happened?
It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Didn't know you were
Cool like that.
yeah, for real. Didn't know you were in the cool kids club.
Well, now this means you can drop it right back.
I know.
You know?
Well, see, that's the fun thing is my brother curses a lot. And when he is around, she's always like, quit with the F-bombs. And he's always like, you're dropping them too. This goes two ways. And then it gets into the whole, don't talk to me like I'm your friend. I'm your mom. You still owe me respect, yada, yada, yada. And then
Well,
those two fight.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have a happy medium with that.
No. Yeah. It's a hard line to cross or to not cross.
Yes.
Because like growing up for me, and it might be different for a boy, or like dads and their boys and moms and their girls. But like whenever I had friends over when I was in like middle school, high school, my dad was just like always around. He would like offer to take us to the gas station in the middle of the night to get like energy drinks.
Oh,
Play
wow.
video games with us. Like my dad was always like wanting to be like one of the boys, kind of.
Yeah.
And even to this day, like my friends are like, your parents like last night we had this party and they were like, are your parents coming? And I was like, no, we didn't invite them this year. That we decided to keep it youngins this year.
They were looking for your parents.
They were like, where's your dad? He's the king of beer pong.
See, that's cool.
It is cool.
I mean, I would invite my parents everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I love my mom and my stepdad. They were married when I was like 3. So he's, my main dad. And then my real dad was living in Dothan. He actually committed suicide when I was 14. So,
Sorry.
yeah. So they were divorced and my stepdad really was the cool one, but he was always checking. I mean, when guys, my brother had his friends over, I mean, they got away with murder, practically murder, and my brother shot a gun through the circle couch. We had this like 70s circle couch in the basement and went through the couch, through the wall, but I get checked on every 20 minutes when I was, downstairs with friends or upstairs in my room with friends. I mean, they would find a way to check on us.
Yeah, I feel like I just made it sound like my dad was just like letting us get away with murder, but also would just always be if what would be funny about it is my dad would be down like in the basement with us and my mom would come and check on us to make sure we're all behaved, even though my dad is like right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because he could be partaking in the shindig.
He could be. And a lot of the times he was.
Yeah.
And my mom would be like, she'd call him upstairs and he'd get to the top of the stairs. She'd be like, you don't need to be partying with these fucking 15-year-olds. you're not a kid anymore. You're a grown ass man."
Oh,
And he's just
man.
like, "Let me live, woman."
I have friends like that have parents like that. The mom is like, "Why are you hanging out with them? You know, they're so much younger than you. You
Yeah.
know, you're acting like you're 15."
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey, I'm having fun."
My mom definitely has loosened up since we've all like grown up and left the house and like been adults.
Oh,
But
yeah.
as a kid, like dad was the cool one and mom was the stricter one. But I guess it just depends because as I say that, I mean, like when I got in trouble, dad was the one I was afraid of.
Yeah.
And mom was the one that was just like, tonight's going to suck when your dad gets home. She's like, I'm not doing anything yet because I'm going to let him do it all.
Yep.
And it's like, that's his thing. He's
Yeah.
the hold people accountable, disciplinary
The
person.
enforcer.
But it's like when he was the enforcer, he really was the enforcer. But when he was cool, he was really cool. And the same goes for mom. My mom and I are tight. Like,
Well, and I love to see that you get, because I was my mother's worst enemy when I
really?
was, growing up, preteen, teen. And I think it was partly because of the suicide of my real dad,
Yeah.
caused
It's
me
a
to
hard thing to
rebel.
deal with. Yeah.
But I see it a lot with because I don't have kids, but I see it a lot with friends who have kids where the, girl is 12 or 11 years old and talking back to mom. And I'm like, just get ready. I mean, this is just starting,
Yeah. This is just the beginning.
But once they hit the age where they like are responsible and they start thinking of mom and things like that, that's when we gained a bond that is unbreakable. Now,
Yeah.
my mom and I.
It's cool once you get to the point where like you can call your like I could consider like with the whole friend thing, like I consider my parents just like another friend. Like I invite them to things because they're our friends and they're
Exactly.
generally fun to be around.
Right.
Sometimes my mom's like, "You just invite us because we'll pay for you." And I'm like, "You don't have to pay for me.
No,
I just
exactly.
like it when you guys are around. I just kind of feel safe, I guess."
Well, and that was one thing I was going to bring up is like, this is, the real turning point of growing up was when my parents had a TV, and TVs back then were really expensive.
Hmm.
And their TV had just broke. And so there was no TV in the living room. And I had just made my first big commission check in mortgage.
Hmm.
And I went and I bought them a huge TV and I had it and I brought it home. And they were like tears. I mean, just
Yeah,
happy,
that's awesome.
and to be able to do for them what they did for me, that's what it's about for me.
Yeah. And like even like when we got married, my dad was I made him my best man.
Oh, wow.
And same thing, like when I was just like I came over and hung out with him because mom was out doing stuff. So it was just me and him. And I was like, he was like, "Well, you thinking about your wedding party yet?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've got some ideas." He's like, "You gonna make Griffin your best man?" My brother.
Yeah.
And I was like, "I'm thinking about it. I'm between him and a couple other people. It's really hard to pick one person." And I just said, "But it kind of just makes sense to pick the most important person to me." And he was just like, "So Griffin?" And I was like, I didn't even say it. And he like immediately just like could
Oh,
see his eyes just watering. And I was like,
you're going to make
"Will
me
you do it?"
cry.
I was like, "Will you do it?" And he was just like, "You sure?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah." And then he came to my bachelor party and he was a homie at the bachelor party. I mean, it was sick, man. I
That
hope
is
that when my
so
brother
cool.
gets married one day, he makes my dad or our dad his best man because it was a lot of fun for me. So it'll be a lot of fun for him.
Yeah.
We'll see if he gets there though. He's kind
Oh,
of he's living his
how much
best life.
younger is he?
He's 24 and
Okay.
I'm 29.
Okay.
So he's
5 years.
a few years young. Maybe he's 25. I
We were
don't know.
3.5 years apart, so it's just perfect.
Mhm.
I was annoying to him when I was young, and then I was stealing his friends when I got older.
Stealing his
Yeah,
friends.
I mean, because they all wanted to date me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the
W
younger sister.
were his friends like, "Dude, you got a hot sister."
Oh yeah,
Really?
oh yeah, oh
Oh, that's
yeah. And he
fun.
was like, "Shut up, man! I'm gonna kick your ass."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We had a buddy in high school whose mom was just gorgeous, and she was single. It was a single mom, and I was just
yeah.
like we were always just like, "Yo,
Stacy.
Francis." Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
And we're like, "Francis, your mom coming?" And he'd be like, "Fuck you, dude." Like, he knows. How can you
Yeah,
not know?
you only invite him because his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like, "Hey, Francis, bring your mom." And
Yes.
she's just like, "Shut the fuck up." But that's fun.
Yeah.
Did anyone ever get you?
Yeah. I
Really?
dated one of his friends,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah?
Yeah, and we were good for a while, and, there was camping, and we all went on group dates and things like that. My brother lived in Athens, so he worked for UPS ever
Mhm.
since he was like teenager,
Really?
and he still drives for
Really?
UPS
They
in
take good care of
Athens.
their employees.
Well, if they had air conditioner, it'd
Well,
be even
that's
great.
yeah.
It'd be even greater.
Which we're in 2025. How is that not the case?
Exactly. And they actually agreed to it in the last union strike or whatever that they would put the AC in the trucks. And I don't know where that started, but it hasn't started in Georgia,
Oh,
Florida. And my brother almost had a heat stroke last summer.
wow. Yeah, that's not good.
No.
You'd think that they would. I don't know. How does UPS and FedEx and all of them not have like Amazon trucks, like the Amazon delivery vans we all see? Why doesn't UPS or
Yeah.
USPS or
I mean, they
FedEx?
claim it's money,
Why didn't any of them
but their
buy those?
shareholders are getting plenty of money. So,
Yeah, but
yeah,
you got to think
it's,
your shareholders wouldn't be getting any money if it weren't for the people out there doing the job.
yeah. Well, and you don't have to get new trucks for everybody. And I mean, honestly, if it's cheaper to retrofit them, I mean, put a dang unit in the top of the back of the vehicle
Hell yeah,
where the
something.
stuff is, because in the back it's even worse. I
Yeah,
mean,
and you
and
don't
they
want
they
people
can at least
shit
have the
in like the
windows
boxes getting like
hot.
hot. You don't want
Exactly.
that.
Yeah. Well, they have to, if it's a refrigerated product, it won't be on a regular UPS truck in most cases
Hmm,
because it's got to be on a different truck that has.
interesting.
Yeah.
All
But
fun
anyways,
facts. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, so Lindsay, who are you? I mean, where are you from? You've mentioned a brother. You've mentioned parents.
Yeah.
Kind of give me your little origin story.
Well, I was born in Elberton, Georgia. Elberton is the granite capital of the world.
The granite capital of the world.
Yes, yes. They have more granite, I guess, there, and they do monuments and statues and things like that. It's not the type of granite I think you would use for a countertop, because that's mostly like Brazilian or other countries that they bring that in. But I don't know, could be wrong. But they do a lot of gravel. They do a lot of headstones and monuments and things like that. And moved to. My mom was a teacher, and my stepdad was a pilot for the state of Georgia. And so we grew up in Ackworth, and I went to Big Shanty, McCluskey Middle School, and Sprayberry High School. And then I went to college for marketing and got a 2-year marketing degree out of Floyd and North Metro. So then I answered a call or answered we had the newspaper back then. On
What's that?
Sunday, you would get the Marietta Daily Journal if you paid for it, and they would deliver it at your driveway. And my mom and dad got the newspaper every week, and I was looking for a job after college. And I saw this, we will train you, mortgage industry, loan originators needed. So I answered the call and I went in and they hired me, and I had to go through 2 months of training. And it was actually in a building off Franklin Road that was an old military building that you had to use your palm print to get into the building. So being the first job out of college, I was like, this is like
Wow.
high tech,
And even for that time, that was advanced. What year
Yeah.
is this?
2002.
Wow. Yeah, that's pre iPhone. That's pre any of that stuff. So that's wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm getting into this building using my handprint, to get in. And I am going into training, and then I get put out on the floor. And I am in a pool of loan officers all sitting at desks lined up in rows. And they kind of have cubicles, but they're open. And the phones are ringing, and you're just supposed to pick up the phone and start selling the products that you've learned in training. And I don't know, it was about 2 weeks in, and the owner got on the intercom and was like, I need 2 fucking files by every fucking body by the end of the fucking day, or you're
What
fucking
the
fired. Um,
what?
yeah. And it was like I had a friend that I'd met, and his name was Yaz. And I would meet him down for coffee at the coffee station, and we would get in trouble because we would be talking too long. So it was weird because we were advertising on Christian radio stations. But then I heard this, I'm like, what this
Yeah.
is like a sweatshop
Yeah.
situation. And then predatory lending laws became, or they had just gone through predatory lending laws, and they were talking about who can charge points. And we were actually selling option arms, which, I mean, we didn't just sell option arms. We sold 5/6 arms, 7/6 arms, and basically those are adjustable rate mortgages. But the option arm, it was actually, hey, you have options. You can pay the minimum payment, you can pay the principal and interest payment, you can pay the full payment with everything, or you can pay just this little minimum payment. And everybody chose the little minimum payment. I mean, when you give somebody an option, and they see that their values are growing, 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 they're just going to make the minimum. Well, they made the minimum. So that was partly why we had, 2008 mainly was the Community Reinvestment Act, the
Hmm.
CRA, that was passed that basically required that banks give loans to anybody. We should not discriminate because of credit score. We should not discriminate because of, any reason. So we were having to give people loans that if they said they were a barber and they made 150,000 a year, if they had the credit scores for it, we had to approve it. I mean, we had to, send it to an underwriter to approve. Uh, and then you had the appraisals. Everybody was doing jacked up appraisals. I mean, we had one guy, and I'm not going to mention his name, but when I was working at the next place that I ended up going to, Lennox Financial was a large brokerage. There was an appraiser who would ask you, who is this appraisal going to? Who's the investor? Because I need to know if I'm going to put my name on it or if I'm going to put another employee's name on it because I'm blackballed from that company. And that was kind of like the beginning of watching, the Implodometer, basically a website that came out, and it was watching all the banks fail. And there were people who went to closings that morning, and what attorneys were doing, and this is the bad part, is that closing attorneys, they would get wires for the incoming closings for the day, and they really weren't paying attention, or maybe they were doing it on purpose. I don't know. But they were funding Peter's loan with Paul's money. So by the time, like when 2 o'clock came, when somebody got the regulators came in and shut them down, people who were waiting to fund at 4 o'clock, they didn't get funded, or maybe their funds went to someone else's funding in the morning because their funds were already there. I mean, it was a mess. And, Washington Mutual, all these big banks that started just drying up. I mean, we watched as loans didn't fund that closed, loans that were in underwriting had to be switched over to other banks. And it was like watching dominoes fall and waiting for which one is the next one to fall. We lived through that. I was at Lennox Financial. The bottom fell out and we had absolutely no business. I
Hmm.
mean, John Shibley had been advertising on the radio, biggest no brainer in the history of Earth. You either loved him or you hated him, but the radio was playing his ads and we were getting calls. Well, when the crash happened, nothing was happening. There was no business. And so he started branching out, trying to do other things. He started trying to create other companies to try to make money. And that was kind of his demise, was you put your hand in too many pots, you're not going to take care of the original.
Hmm.
And we started to get cease and desist over and over. So I was a loan officer, from 2002 until 2010. That was when Lennox Financial ceased to exist. They started getting cease and desist letters, and he was in the middle of selling the company to a company called Westar. And Westar was a really cool company. They had their own money. We were excited because we were going to be a lender. We weren't going to be a broker, subject to underwriters we didn't know. We were going to be able to know our underwriters, fund our own loans. It's a totally different world when you're a lender versus a broker. And John messed it up. Very last minute, he decided that he wanted to demand more money, and Westar walked away, and he had to sell in an overnight sale to
Hmm.
another company out of Atlanta that I was not going to work for. So within 2 weeks, I put in my letter of resignation, and my husband, by that time, I had met my husband. So my husband and I met at Lennox Financial,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, so I started at Lennox in 2006. No, yeah, 2006. And we actually met, he was a market director for internet markets. And initially, I was not on the internet leads. I was not getting internet leads. And I was in the Boston market. So any calls that came in that were in Massachusetts, Maryland, Virginia, DC, New Hampshire, those came to my group. And they started doing internet leads for me, and he was the one that was sending them, and I started closing a lot of them. I was getting them done, and Lennox Financial was big on no closing cost loans. So when the rates were at 7.5, we would basically say, hey, we can do a no closing cost. We'll pay your closing cost. We'll do 7.875. You come in with a $300,000 loan, you're going to leave with a $300,000
Mm.
loan because basically the rate paid the closing costs. So every 6 months, every 9 months, whenever, of course, we have an EPO period where we cannot touch that client. Nobody can touch the client. And it used to be 4 payments. So once 4 payments had passed, if the rates went down, if I did a no closing cost for you, you didn't spend anything on the last refi. If I called you back and said, hey, Logan, I can save you another $100 a month and do it with no closing cost. Are you game? It's like someone coming and putting $100 bill in your mailbox for no reason because you're not rolling backwards. You're not going backwards on your loan. So we were doing that and doing it well. Well, I was closing all these internet leads, and he apparently liked me. And so he went to John and he was like, I kind of like her and I want to ask her to dinner. And John was like, no, you're a manager. She's an employee. That's sexual harassment, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
She has to ask you. So he was like, okay, fine. And so he called me to congratulate me on being one of the top salespeople for the internet leads for that month. And I was like, well, when are you going to take me to dinner to celebrate? And he was like, done. Where you want to go? So we ended up meeting it on the border off Barrett Parkway.
Yep.
And
RIP.
huh?
No longer exists, right?
Yeah, no, it's not there
Now
anymore.
it's going to be a, forget, damn.
I can't remember,
gonna
but
be
it's
a
where the
damn
bowling alley is
Portillo's?
now. Yeah, maybe.
That's sticking out to me for some reason.
Yeah. Well, so we met there, and he came back to my place, and I had a house that I bought while I was, in mortgage, and over in Ackworth, and he came over, watched a movie, and then went home. And I think it was 2 days later, he came over, and he never left. He actually, we moved him in, we moved his cats in, and yeah, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm going to marry you," and I'm like, "Nope, I don't want to get married. Things change when you get married." And he's like, "I'm going to marry you. You're going to marry me." And yeah, it
And
took
you
like
did.
15 months. Yeah, so 6, 7, 8. June 7th, 2008, we got married on the hottest day in Georgia history. It was
6,
like
7, 8.
heat index of 108 degrees. I'm wearing a long dress with 9 layers of crinoline underneath. I'm on a horse and buggy carriage waiting for people to sit their asses down so I could hurry up and come out and get off this horse that was about to die. I mean, it was about to have a heat stroke itself, And me and my dad, which my stepdad, because my real dad had passed away, we're on this horse and on the buggy, and I'm just like, he's blowing on me, trying to keep me cool. I'm about to pass out. My husband had to blow on me at the wedding to keep me from passing out because that's how hot I was. But basically, after Lennox closed, my husband and I, we were like, what are we going to do? And so we decided that we would contact Westar and see if they would be willing to entertain having a branch in Atlanta. Well, come to find out, somebody who was also a manager at Lennox had already done that. So they weren't interested. So we had to go searching around. So we searched around, we found a place, ended up being a nightmare. And thank goodness the guy who was working for Westar could not, he basically just had surrendered his branch, didn't want to do it anymore. So we called Westar one more time and we're like, dude, can you please, they're like, actually, he just stopped his branch. So we'll hire you on. We'll create your branch. So we had 9 people who came over from Lennox. That the place was shambles by the time, all the cease and desist and the overnight sale to the company that nobody wanted to work for. So we had 9 people that wanted to come over. And we found out that John Shibley, who was the best man at my wedding, who is in every one of my wedding photos, he was trying to serve us. on Christmas with a lawsuit because he invented no closing costs and we were infringing on the lawsuit. So we purposely did not come to work through New Year's and we got served on like January 2nd. January 3rd, whatever that Monday was. And basically, we went through 2 years of lawsuit. Westar fought it with us and we went through depositions. He lost all his friends because they all sided with John. I don't know why. John tried to throw us, under the tracks and we lost every employee we had. But we had each of us and we won. It was dismissed with prejudice, so he could not sue us again. So, I mean, shit, you try to serve us on freaking Christmas Day. I mean, you're, not high on my totem pole,
Yeah,
people.
probably
In
not.
fact, I
Yeah.
mean, I can't even pull out my wedding album photos because it's like, there he is. I just want to throw up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be that person that puts little stickers, like happy face stickers, where his head is.
Well, that's
that
okay.
way.
You can do that.
Yeah,
It was your wedding.
Yeah,
Those are your photos.
I know. I paid a
You-
ton of money
yeah,
for
I'm
that
sure
damn
you did.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Westar was good. We went through 3 name changes in the process of Westar. My husband decided he did not want to do mortgages anymore. He was a lawyer by trade. He went to law school in Mexico, and he's actually French Lebanese, born in Mexico. So
Whoa.
figure that one out. Yeah. So his family was from Lebanon, and his uncle was the president of Lebanon in 1979.
Oh,
Frangie.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
fire.
yeah, and his family came over on a ship, and they were supposed to land here, and they ended up being diverted to Mexico. So they made roots there and had 3 children, and one of them was my husband.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So Spanish was his first language.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good, good, all good things there.
So so after we were in mortgage, we drove to work together. We ate lunch together. We worked together. We drove home together. We slept together. We showered together. I mean, we did everything together. Okay. And then he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just don't want to do it. So there had been something that a friend told me about, that an LLM program had opened up. LLM is basically a foreign lawyer program.
Okay.
Where if you have a law degree, you can come and get your master's and then get your law license. So Emory and Georgia State had opened up. And of course, we went with Georgia State because that one was a lot less expensive. So he got his master's degree, went and took the bar and passed and got his law license. Ended up going to several courts to get his certificate or ability to fight in like appeals court and state court, Supreme Court. So then he was like, okay, where am I going to be in law? What do I want to do? Short story, he was a ADA in Fulton County with the old DA that is no longer there, not Fonnie Willis, the one before. I don't know which one is more corrupt. That's a toss-up. But he worked as an ADA, but what they did was they put him on the PIU, and PIU is the Public Integrity Unit. So he was the one that was having to investigate officer-involved shootings, teachers that were stealing money, anything that was going on with an employee or somebody with the county, he was involved with it. And it was almost like they put him on a professional snitch program, I mean, nobody liked him because if their friend was involved in an officer-involved shooting and it didn't look good, that might, not go well.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, no. And worst yet, he was on call one weekend a month to do officer-involved shootings. And you would not believe how many officer-involved shootings there are in Fulton County. I mean, there's a lot. And you don't really, you hear them on TV, but until you know someone or, you're with someone who does it.
It just doesn't feel real until you know.
Yeah. And he'd keep his cell phone on and get a call at 1:30 in the morning and basically wake me up and say, I got to go. And he's down in South Atlanta in some of the, worst parts, investigating a shooting. And he would be there for 12, 14 hours. I mean, it could be long. So he decided he didn't want to do that anymore. I mean, it was wearing on him. So
Taking a toll on him.
after about a year, then he went into, what is it called? personal injury. This is from one extreme to the other, but it was always going after the insurance company. And, I'm so glad that tort reform law was passed here in Georgia for insurance. So basically, insurance companies, what I'm reading is they cannot be sued for millions of dollars just out of nowhere like
Hmm.
they could. But that is passed, I think, September 1st. It goes into effect in Georgia. But I don't, ambulance chasers at the end of the day, that's how, basically going after people so they can go after the insurance and get a payout. And they didn't even like to go to court. They didn't want to have to fight. So they would try to settle it before court. But then he decided he didn't like that. So he has been actually in family law for a long time, like several years,
Since
5 years. Yeah. And so now he does divorces, adoptions, TPOs, protection orders, that kind of stuff. And he likes it. I mean, of course, divorce is never fun.
No,
They,
but there's enough variety there that it's constantly something new,
yeah,
still a lot of familiarity.
yeah,
So that's always nice.
yep.
Um, yeah, I'm sure it was a good day when you got out of got out of the police that work there. That's extremely stressful, especially I mean, what year was this? I mean,
That would have been 2017, 2018.
right around the time that things are kind of starting to ramp up with like the police
Oh, yeah.
being assholes, and well, in some people's minds, the police being bad guys, and we don't
Or the
defund
riots.
and the riots. So that's a really
Yes.
scary time to be doing that kind of work.
Well, and we even bought him a scooter, a motorized scooter, because they made the employees park like a mile away from the building because there is no parking down there. And if it's a nice day, it's okay to walk, but the amount of urine and feces you have to step over in order to get there. I mean, this is straight down. This is Prior Street. And back then, that's the way it was. And I mean, honestly, there were times that I was afraid he was going to get the scooter stolen,
Oh
robbed of
yeah,
the scooter.
yeah.
Uh, so it was scary. And he had to be there at like 7:30 in the morning. So you're getting up at 4:30,
Hmm.
driving from Canton all the way down to Prior Street. It was, I mean, a psychological warfare in
Yeah.
itself. And then on top of that, having to step over urine and whatever else at that hour. I mean, needles sometimes. And to get into your job, it's a hazard that you really shouldn't have to deal with.
No, hell no. That's not good. But you know what is good, Lindsay?
What?
I'll tell you, good days are good.
Yeah.
Can I tell you about that real quick?
Yeah.
Guys, this podcast is brought to us by Good Days Canned Cocktails. I've been sipping on one in a glass this whole time, but let me tell you a little bit about them. Good Days are a classic cocktail brand created in a convenient, ready to drink format to meet the need for a quality pre-mixed cocktail on any occasion. They've got 4 great flavors. They've got the Better Nights, the one that I'm sipping on right now, which is a vodka and lime. They've also got the Porch Swing, which is the fan favorite. That's the vodka cranberry. They've also got a whiskey sour and a sea breeze, a gin and juice. So they've got 4 great flavors, 4 classic cocktails, and they're amazing. They're a local Georgia company. They're local dudes. They're good people, and they make good drinks. They just set out to make the best damn canned cocktail there is. So if you want to check them out, see if they're sold at a liquor store near you, you can go to their website, drinkgooddays.com/pages/find us to find a store near you to go ahead and get their drinks. Of course, you must be 21 years of age to purchase. Wow. Bunch of ups and downs in the career world. So one thing I wanted to ask you about is how do you, because I try to ask everybody this because everyone has a different answer. Subjects like real estate, mortgages, taxes, all the adult topics, if you will, how do you make that fresh and new every day?
Well,
For
everybody's
yourself, but also for the people that you're helping.
well, everybody's situation is different. So when I get a call or I get an email, first off, they're coming from a different place. So for me, guidelines are never stagnant. They are changing all the time. So even though some people think mortgages are boring, they are interesting in the fact that there are different intricacies to each program. And if you're working with someone who doesn't know those intricacies, they are not going to serve you. They're not going to be able to package the loan the way that it should be in order to maximize what your goal is. And that's one thing that, I like to listen to people and listen to what their goals are. A lot of people have unrealistic ideas of what a mortgage payment is right now. I get a lot of people who are working part time. They're making, money driving Uber, but they've only done it for 6 months. And then they may work a part time job and they make about 2 grand. And they say, well, I can afford a $2,000 rent. Why won't you give me a mortgage for 2,000? Well, on paper, buddy, you're making 2,000. That would be 100% DTI if you had nothing else in debt. We have guidelines and qualification measures that we have to follow, especially after the crash. I mean, the pendulum swung the other way and it finally has evened out to where it should be.
I was going to ask earlier when you said that once that act got passed, that you had to give mortgages to anybody and you couldn't discriminate based on the credit score or whatever. Did it eventually get repealed, or is it still in standing today?
It's still in standing. It's just they basically have come back on it and basically made a qualified mortgage. RESPA was not a thing back in the 60s. I mean, that's why, realtors basically or agents will say that they need to refer 3 lenders. That was in the age of kickbacks. That was because you could get a kickback. You needed to give them 3 names because if you were going to get a kickback, you can't just refer one. Kickbacks are illegal now. That's a RESPA violation.
Hmm.
That is
What is RESPA?
RESPA is the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act.
Okay.
And so when the market crashed and banks started folding and we had the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, stepped in. The FTC, their Federal Trade Commission, they watch out for consumers. Then we created what's called the National Mortgage Licensing System. So it used to be that you paid your fee as a mortgage originator. You could get licensed in the states that you paid and whatever you had to do. They created a national licensing system and they definitely make a lot of money doing it, but it created a uniform requirement for everyone in any state that they want to be licensed in. And we had to register. We have to put our employment record. You have to put any arrest records. If you have filed a bankruptcy, if you owe child support, these are all things that can affect your ability to be a licensed mortgage originator. On the flip side, like real estate, they're not as strict on checking backgrounds, financial. Like if you've done bad checks or you robbed a bank, you ain't getting a license.
No.
You're not getting a license.
Hell no.
It's just not happening. Unless it's sealed, it's not happening because financial crimes are exactly what they're trying to stop. And that was the pendulum that swung the other way. And now I have to I'm licensed in 9 states. So I'm in Georgia, but I do Florida, Alabama, South Carolina, Tennessee, Maryland, Colorado, Kentucky, Virginia, Georgia. And I'm about to get North Carolina and Texas. So basically, I have to take about 14 hours of CE every year. And that's continuing education that I have to take to renew my license. And then I pay the tune of about $1,500 a year to renew all those licenses. And that's just me as a loan officer. I pay for my branch to renew the licenses as well because I run my branch. And so basically that kind of brings me back to where we were after, Westar. I became, Westar actually sold to, everybody's going to get a kick out of this, J.G. Wentworth, because J.G. Wentworth was getting a lot of calls for mortgages, even though they did not do mortgages. So the owner of Westar and the owner of J.G. Wentworth happened to be sitting at a bar, as the story goes, and they would start talking, and it came up that they wanted a mortgage company. So we got sold to J.G. Wentworth. We became J.G. Wentworth Home Lending. And then after 5 years, they doubled their money and sold us to Freedom Mortgage, which I absolutely, I'm not going to say anything like really, but
just
yeah,
overall, just
bad, not happening. I spent a whopping 14 days there. And me and 5 other branches started looking into options. Where do we want to go? Where do we want to go? And so me and another guy, we made a spreadsheet. And we literally put the pros and cons, what the benefits are. Because all my other branch friends, they were actually only in Virginia. So they didn't care
Hmm.
if they had other licenses, but I did because I had other licenses.
Sure.
So we narrowed down to a company out of Roanoke, Virginia. It was three guys who started a company. They were all around my age. And they wanted to basically create a company that was relationship based, that was a lender that everybody could create a community feel, family feel. And so we went up there to visit. There were three branches that went up to visit in 19, right when we got sold to Freedom. And we basically said, let's move over here. Well, as soon as I moved first. I was December of 2019. I moved to Alcova and I became a branch, and my branch is in Marietta, right down the street from here. And I never go after COVID. There's no point.
You
Uh,
don't go in person?
no,
You're
I
at
work
home
from
all the
home.
time?
Yep.
Does everybody?
Yeah. Everybody. I mean, there's a lot of people that work from home. There's a lot of branches that they do have branches in other cities that they go, but I don't see a need to go. So I don't go to my office unless I need to meet somebody. But I basically moved here and then COVID hit and we were deemed essential. Anybody who was funding mortgages, who was, showing real estate, who was working in grocery stores or, big box stores, they were told they were essential and they needed to get to work. But if you were non-essential, you were told that you did not, don't go to work. And it got to the point where we were closing buyers and sellers separately in different rooms. We were closing what the realtors and the lender were not allowed to go. So there was a period of about a year where I was not allowed to attend my own closings.
Wow.
And I was one of those that we all know now the masks don't work, but I did not want to wear a mask. I already have anxiety as it is, much less wearing something on my face. So I wasn't going to go. If I had to wear a mask, I wasn't going to go. So, yeah, I'm still at Alcova Mortgage. I love the place. I will retire here.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. If it's my say, unless they're going to sell the company, please don't sell it.
This woman's been through enough
please.
purchases and sales and
Yeah.
ups and downs. We don't need another one.
Right. I went through 3 name changes and I stuck it out. And that was 9 years with Westar.
Wow.
Through Westar, JG Wentworth, and Freedom. And then Alcova, I've been there since December of 2019. So it's going on 6 years.
Wow.
I am faithful to the point of I will be on a sinking ship and literally swim to shore if I have to. That's how loyal I am. And so that's kind of one of the bad things about my business is that there are loyal people, believe me. And I have clients that are tried and true. They will trust no one but me. And that is good because I have their best interest at heart.
Of course.
But there are people who will nickel and dime me and want me to race to the bottom and try to beat some internet lender that I'm like, back in the day in my 20s and maybe my 30s, I would have tried. I would have absolutely tried to get there. And if it meant that I made $27.56 after it was all said and done, I won. I don't race to the bottom anymore. I'm worth something. And if I'm going to cheapen myself to work for nothing, then what does everybody else think about me? So if somebody's not willing to pay me what I'm worth, then you need to look somewhere else.
That is great advice for anybody.
Yeah.
If you're not being paid what you're worth,
yeah, it's not worth it.
Check out your options.
Your life is what, 2/3 working? I
Mhm.
mean, you only truly get to live 1/3 of your life as,
Is how you want to.
how you want to. So don't waste one day of your life doing something you hate. I mean, I love what I do. I've been through some rough patches. I met my husband in the mortgage industry. I have become a leader in women in this industry. I have a private group on Facebook of about 1,500 mortgage women. They're
Damn.
all mortgage originators from east to west
Did you
coast.
start that?
Me and a
Wow.
girl named Morgan. Morgan is the main mortgage mom, and I am Lindsay the lender. And those are our good taglines.
Yeah.
But we wanted a group on Facebook because it's a men's industry for the most part. A lot of men in finance and mortgage. And every time we saw that a female asked a question in a private group on mortgage groups, they would get belittled, They would be ridiculed, insulted.
Yeah, that's not
It got to the point where we just could not stand it. So Morgan messaged me one night and was like, I have had enough. I don't want to be in these groups anymore. They do nothing but tear us women down. Let's create a group. So we did. And we have grown that group. Of course, we have some women in there who want to basically promote themselves and do podcast advertising and things like that. But we really want it to be a group where we collaborate, we lean on each other, we cry when we have to and let other girls listen. We don't even let realtors in the group because
wow.
we want to be able to vent and everybody to understand where we're coming from. And I'm not a mom, but it's called Mortgage Moms. If you're a mom of dogs and you're a mom of cats or a mom of kids, if you have a active originator's license and you're originating loans, you are allowed to be in Mortgage Moms. And we just want to be a community that females will support females because the males don't. For the
So
most part.
I cannot join Mortgage Moms.
No, you cannot.
That's okay. I won't take offense to that.
I've had men actually get mad, and then I've had like couples that have a joint Facebook account. I'm like,
Mhm.
girl, I can't let you in. I'm sorry. You have, your name and your
Yeah.
husband's
Which
name
means that he is also logging
having
on.
access, right?
Yeah. I
And
get it, but
yeah,
it'd be one of those things that I maybe would be pissed about in the moment, but then taking a step back and be like, yeah, it makes sense.
right.
That's not the purpose of this group. The group is a united front in which all you ladies can, like everything you've said, talk about and vent about and learn from each other. And
Yeah.
no offense to the boys out there, but boys can be pretty mean. Even though some of them don't know they're being mean, they can be
Right.
very mean. And I try every day to make sure I never like mansplain shit to people.
Yeah.
Or I try not to, but every once in a while I catch myself in the act. I'm like, oh God, I sound like an asshole.
Well, you know what's funny is that some of the times that I hear mansplaining, it's like there's a woman in the room and she knows so much more than he can even mansplain about.
Right.
And it in like mortgage groups, I mean, to hear like a certain male that every time I see, it's like, oh, he's always answering the question. And 80% of the time he's wrong. And it takes like one brave woman to come up and be like, dude, that's not the guideline. This is actually the guideline. And it changed in February of 2024. Did you not get the memo? And it takes them snapping back for him to realize that he was rude about it.
Mhm.
And I'm like, why does it take that? Like self looking back, self reflection.
Yeah,
You know?
you gotta know, and you gotta know when you're being an asshole.
Yeah.
And it's not
He's an
hard.
asshole.
It's not hard to know you're being an asshole
Yeah. No.
because sometimes I'm like, oh, I said that and I sounded like an asshole. I got called out for it last night. I sent a text. One of my buddies we're in a group chat with a bunch of guys called Good Boys, Bad Decisions. Shout out to all of you boys that are in there.
Sounds like a fun group.
It's a great group, but
Yeah.
one of the guys in there does not have TikTok on his phone. He's not a social media guy.
Yeah.
And so we send TikToks in that group to each other.
Oh,
And
he
he's
can't
always
see
just
him.
like, can't see it.
Yeah.
And the other night was just like, download the app, you pussy. And then I was like, ooh, that came off aggressive. So I unsent it. And then last night they were like, yo, what was that message you unsent? And I was like, I felt like I came off pretty aggressive.
At least
in
you
the
could
moment.
unsend it.
Oh yeah. God, thank God.
I mean, apparently I did not no, but there's rules on this unsending thing.
Yeah.
And somebody sent me something because I unsent something, but then someone loved it. And I'm like, crap, how did they see it?
saw it?
It's because if somebody doesn't have a 16 iPhone or later, well, I have a 11 Pro, 12 Pro.
You have a
Yeah.
Pro
Oh,
or
yeah.
11 or 12 right now?
Yeah.
Damn, you're holding on.
Yeah, I am.
Which is so
I
funny.
don't want 5G, man.
I know.
I don't want
I was talking to my father-in-law about this. It's so funny how like Apple has wired our brains to the point of like, oh, if your phone is a couple years old, it's obsolete.
Right.
It's useless.
Oh, somebody asked me, like, how are you even using that
Yeah, does it
11 Pro
lag?
Max? No. Well,
You're-
actually, I just had the battery replaced and I didn't go to the Apple, place. I went to just a battery store
Sure.
and now it detects, it knows. It's like you have a non-licensed battery and it's already 35% degraded. And then they send me text, you need a new phone. You need to I'm like, Y'all are doing the same crap you did when you started draining batteries on the
Yeah.
8s and 9s
Yeah.
to purposely get people to buy new phones.
Yeah.
I know that they're doing that.
Yeah.
And I have Siri off. Siri hears me. Siri hears me. Like, I'll be talking to my mom. We both don't have Siri on. And then all of a sudden, scrolling,
You
oh,
see the
look, there's an
shit.
advertisement for
Yeah.
exactly what I just talked about.
Yeah.
Watch. I mean, I'm going to give you the world's best pizza cutter, but you're going to get an ad in your phone later about pizza cutters
You think
because
so?
we talked about it.
If I see it, I will
Yeah.
send it to you and be
Yeah.
like, see,
Yeah.
I do have Siri on.
I hate Siri. I hate all those like,
The artificial intelligence stuff.
well, no, I just don't like the ones that listen because
Ah.
they're listening all the time, even when you're not asking them to.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I have a friend that literally has a piece of duct tape on top of her
Yeah.
camera on the top of her phone.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. And
And
people have them on their laptops and their webcams.
well, you know that there's a guy who did a test, and the iPhone takes a picture, an image, every like 2.2 seconds. If you turn off all the lights and you put on a certain kind of camera, the night vision or whatever, you can see it. It's literally taking flashes. So yeah. I mean,
Interesting.
you know, if you got nothing to hide, I guess, then you don't mind Big Brother spying on you, but I just don't like it.
Yeah, the whole privacy thing is such an interesting conversation, and I want to have it. But
Well,
before I do,
TikTok. I
Yeah.
got kicked off.
kicked off.
I got kicked off. I got banned.
Shit, what'd you post?
I had 32,000 likes by then. I had worked so hard to get my I was posting the same stuff on TikTok that I was posting on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
They didn't ban me. TikTok banned me. So I am not on TikTok.
The Chinese don't love you,
No, they do not love me. It might be because I talk about COVID a lot.
maybe because
The fact that they killed my dad, my real dad killed himself when I was, 14, but my stepdad passed in 2021 in the hospitals from remdesivir and baricitinib. And
But they called it COVID.
well, they basically said he had COVID, and we took him in because his breathing, his oxygen levels were so low at home. So we just wanted oxygen, and I did not have an O2 concentrator. So it was right around New Year's Eve when this happened. And my mom was in Commerce, so she drove to Athens with him. They immediately put him in ICU, kicked her out of the hospital because this was COVID, and kept wanting to ventilate him because it was easier for them. And I'm like, it's not about what's easier for you. It's
That what's
he
easier for
doesn't.
him,
Yeah,
or what's better for him.
Right. And he doesn't want to be. He came in, do not DNR, and also do not intubate me. So they basically told him that he was getting a room and told him that baricitinib and remdesivir are going to be great. They're going to help you to fight this. And in the meantime, I had been doing a ton of research on COVID. So I knew that this was bad news. So I basically found out from my mom that they had started him on remdesivir and baricitinib. And I said, tell him to stop. Tell him to stop right now. I'm packing a bag. I'm coming to your house. So went over there, tried to talk him into doing high vitamin C, high dose vitamins, tried to get them to do ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine. Any of these things would have been better than what they were giving him. And if anybody looks up remdesivir, it is absolutely terrible. It killed like 50% of the people they gave it in a trial. So to me, there is no difference in mass culling and what they did for COVID because everybody who was on Medicare, Medicaid, they all went in for problems, COVID, and they all didn't make it out. So whether that was on purpose or not, I just feel it was. And I literally had a doctor in Athens at St. Mary's Hospital look at me and say, we are not getting paid a bonus to give your dad this medicine. We're not getting paid a bonus to intubate him or that if he dies in our care. Well, later there was a Blue Cross Blue Shield letter that got, released that showed the bonus amounts that they were getting for each thing. So on my dad's death, they got over 150,000 for all the things that they did. And, he was there for 10 days. It took 7 days for remdesivir to shut down his kidneys. And then they wanted us to come in for hospice and basically say goodbye because they needed to give him pain meds at this point because he was too far gone. So we had to go in. We had 20 minutes to say our goodbyes, and we looked like we were in hazmat suits. We were triple dressed in COVID mask and whole body, outfits. And I will never forgive them. I will never, ever forgive that hospital and that doctor because they knew better. And the doctor's first oath is to do no harm. And that was not followed in COVID. I don't think it was followed for any of the COVID protocols, so it was a mass experiment and it got everybody to decide whether they were going to shun family members or not, and whether they were going to wear the mask and comply, or whether they were going to rebel and say, this is not our liberty. This is, not freedom. And I chose the latter. I chose to just not go anywhere. If I wasn't going to be allowed to be who I am and walk in without a mask, I didn't want to be there. I didn't travel. Now I don't even go on airplanes. I hate airplanes. I went on an airplane during COVID, and it was funny because I was with a bunch of people there was one liberal lady that just swore that a Republican was going to end up getting thrown in jail or kicked off the plane. It ended up being a liberal lady that was trying to eat and put her mask on, and she didn't put her mask on soon enough.
The mask thing was so weird. I mean, I'm a big movie guy, and when I was, they shut down movie theaters for a long time because they were deemed non-essential, and
Mhm.
they're not essential. But once they opened them back up and they said, "Oh, well, you can come, but you got to wear a mask here." And then when you are wearing a mask, when you're eating your popcorn, you're supposed to like take it down, eat it. I just took that shit off in the theater. No one was coming into the theater and looking to see if you. And I would turn around every once in a while, and people are just watching this movie with their mask on. I'm like, "There's nobody in here, you idiot! Like,
Right.
just take it off." Like,
Yeah.
we found out a year in that the masks don't do anything.
Right.
It's just all that.
You're
cheap
breathing
shit.
in your own carbon dioxide, so
If
you're
anything, it's
making
worse.
yourself sick.
Yeah, it's worse.
Yeah.
If you have caught COVID or something from somebody and you're breathing it out, but it's coming right back in, you're making it worse.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
self-contaminating yourself.
And then they found out the droplets are so much more, tinier than the holes in the mask. And the 6 feet was not even valid. I mean, it was basically, let's just see how far we can push the humanity, and let's see where they break.
It's crazy that like I can't wait to see like where this is like 20 years from now in like the history books, like what they say about it.
It's going to go down as Project 201, which is what went down like a couple months before COVID hit New York or Atlanta, was it?
It's wild. It's
Yeah.
wild. You know what else is wild, Lindsay?
What's wild?
Is the fact
Our next
that
sponsor?
yeah, the fact that people out there, and we'll talk about what you brought here in a second, but people out there don't have good merch. You've seen it. I've
Yeah.
seen it. We've all been to networking events. We've all been to golf tournaments and got the little goodie bag, and then you open it up and you're like, what is this shit? Because
Yes.
some people just are like, "Oh, I need pens or golf tees because it's important to have them for whatever." And they always suck. They're just never good.
Or they're cheap.
They're cheap. The quality is bad, but your brand deserves better merch, better accessories, better swag. If you contact this sponsor of the podcast, Branded and Devoted Designs, you can level up with custom hats, shirts, tumblers, mugs, everything in between. They can put your logo on anything. Your customers and their customers will be impressed with what you've got. And if you tell them that I sent you to their website, brandedanddevoted.designs.com, they'll give you 10% off your order because they work with your morning drive. So make that brand stick. They make everything for me. They made this patch hat. They made my patch hoodies. They make the t-shirts, the golf towels, everything that I have on my site to buy, they supply. And it's the best. They also supply these amazing little mugs that I always have in the shot. The laser engraved coffee mugs. Everyone needs one of these with their brand on it. Everyone does. This one just happens to be for Lindsay.
Oh,
But
nice. We drink a lot of coffee, so
Good.
that'll get a lot of use.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Level up your brand, get some better swag, impress the people around you. brandedanddevoted.designs.com. The COVID was, it's so funny that it feels like it was just yesterday.
Yeah.
It's been 5 years-ish, 4 years-ish, really 3-ish since we kind of just decided to let it go. What a weird time.
Yeah.
I personally loved it only because I found out during that time that I am an introvert.
Yeah. You could stay home and just do I mean, stay in your pajamas
And
and you could work.
I think a lot of people realize that they were introverts, or a lot of people realize that they're extroverts and they're just like, oh shit, not being
Oh,
around people
well,
is tough for me.
divorces. I mean, divorces were
Through the roof.
contentious through that time because they really couldn't move out. So they were living together.
They're stuck.
Even though they were wanting a divorce, they were just living together and like had, gotten another room or moved to the basement. And, that was something my husband was dealing with. But I used to be an organizer of a huge expo for the Cobb Association of Realtors. And I was the affiliate chair for 6 years there. So I ran the expo, real estate expo. And before COVID, that thing was banging. I mean, everybody loved it. They came, they had a fun time. After COVID, it was like pulling teeth to get anybody to attend. I realized something that COVID changed everything.
Everything.
Everything. I mean, even meeting people in public, it changed because me going and being a vendor at an expo, I could expect to meet, you know, uh, 200 or 300 agents
Mm,
that I would get their business card and I would be able to reach out and introduce myself and, whatever, send them products. It got to the point where the events, I was not either they were seeing me and then just not coming by the table. And it was the interaction thing. There were kids that literally never saw a smile because people were covered in masks. So it's a safety thing and it's also a interaction thing that I think that people felt like they had to have interaction. And then it got to the point where they felt like, I really don't need it. I don't need the drama. I don't need the extra stress that it takes me to get to a place like that. And I started realizing my appreciation for things more. Like, I was so busy with COVID. I mean, I was essential and I did 3 years worth of business in one 12-month period.
wow.
I was so busy. I was working 6 days a week. My family did not know me. So when that all slowed down, I actually started feeling a huge, immense amount of gratitude for the things that I cared about that I could do, and gratitude for the people that had trusted me. And it kind of switched something inside me where I became more thankful and less driven to just chase. Like, I don't know how to explain it. And I guess I've gotten to an age now where my time is valuable. And if I have to chase something, then maybe it's not meant for me. Like, I've done this for 23 years and I have enough business. I don't need to be greedy and try to go after every bit of it because God wants me to have what I have. And, um, but I guess there's people in, coaching and things like that that would say that that's not the way that you want to be because you don't want to be complacent. But I'm not complacent. Like, there's a lot going on in my life, and if my direction of mortgage is not, I am 100% focused on mortgage when I'm doing mortgage. But when I'm not doing mortgage, I need to be 100% focused on my family. And that doesn't always happen because when I don't have paid vacation, I don't have, I'm out sick, so no, somebody's going to cover for me.
Yeah.
If it's not me, it's not anyone. And, I feel like I want to help everybody, but that's not God's plan. And so now that I've been baptized and I pray a lot more than I used to. I pray that God puts the people in my life that are supposed to be in my life and take everybody out that I'm not supposed to help or that are dangerous, because I think that can lead me in the right direction that I don't necessarily have to chase. I can just let the pieces fall into place and do things like this. I was driven to do this instead of sponsoring a bunch of realtors to come to an event or something. I am doing an appreciation tour where I'm actually going around the city of Atlanta, which I really wish I could do it even in other states, where I'm doing happy hours, where I'm going to a place like November 12th. It's going to be at Simplify in Woodstock.
Love that place.
Yeah. And it's my clients that I've closed, realtors that I've worked with, clients that want to use me are welcome to come. But basically, I am doing an appreciation tour to appreciate the people who I've worked with because it's not about chasing those I haven't worked with yet. It's about appreciating what I have.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to talk to you about is that you are a very vocal woman on Facebook and about your opinions.
I
What
always
does it
got
take to get to that point? Because I wish I was there.
I got a needs improvement in talking as a child. I have always been a talker. And I'm unafraid. I mean, I think age has something to do with it because when I was in my 20s and 30s, I was a different person, but I was also more liberal back then.
Switched.
Honestly, I started losing friends that were liberal. When Trump announced that he was going to run for president, that flipped a psychological switch in some people where they could not even be my friend and be labeled as a friend of mine. So I saw that, several friends had just stopped being friends with me, didn't want to talk to me, said, I literally came out and said, I cannot be your friend because you are conservative or you support Trump or bucket me in with somebody like you support all of you're anti-abortion for everything. There's no middle ground. Like, and there is like there's exceptions and there's things that I feel just to say that I fall into a bucket is just too simple, and for me to think anybody else fits into a simple bucket is too
Yeah.
simple. So I don't place people in buckets. And there's been a lot of people who have used my conservative views against me in business, and that is their loss. Because honestly,
That's
if you want to look at me and say, because you shared a Trump post, I'm not going to give you business. And moreover, I'm going to tell
Mhm.
everyone you're racist.
Oh yeah, there he is.
I'm like,
You're a racist,
you
Lindsay.
know what? Y'all need to look in the mirror because every time you say this, because I'm a Trump supporter, you're not going to do this. That makes you the most intolerant fascist,
Yeah, I hate the F word that gets
I
tossed
hate that.
around so much
Yeah.
nowadays.
Well, and that's why I threw it back.
Well, it's just the hypocrisy is
Yeah.
just unreal because the real fascism
What we
is
just lived through.
yeah, I give everybody the chance to speak who they are and what they do and what they believe and I truly I like to think I'm one of those conservatives that's like, okay, like I'm willing to admit when something wrong happens, or
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
willing to admit like, that probably wasn't a good call. But the fascism thing, it's like we just had those protests about no kings and stuff, but they literally, and by they, I mean the Democrats, they shoehorned Kamala Harris in, maybe not even to her.
That is fascism.
That is fascism.
That is absolute. And they went along
They
with
put
it.
a woman in power, or they tried to, that got no support from
No
the
votes.
community, no votes.
Yeah.
They put her in place because, well, and there's a weird line there because, like,
Oh, the 25th Amendment.
well, it's like with if Trump came out tomorrow and was like, I'm unfit to be president, I can't do it. JD Vance is going to be put in place.
Yeah.
But how does that work when we're coming up on a re-election and the current like after that first debate, I think the whole world realized like, oh shit, Biden can't do it. To his credit, like there's been times that I feel bad for the guy. I
Oh,
mean, that's
yeah.
someone's grandpa. I mean, he
Well, they
doesn't
took
need to
advantage of him.
they took advantage of him, and I think that's why like towards the end of his whole run, like he was like seen like complimenting Trump or like wearing the
The
MAGA
press
hat.
secretary said he saw him 2 times in his whole presidency.
It's
I mean, not
wild.
press secretary, the guy who goes out and talks to like the
Yeah,
press.
yeah.
He had only seen him personally twice in
Yeah.
4 years. How does that happen?
Because he wasn't around.
Yeah, they were calling the shots. The robo signing of all of the bills.
I love how, did you see the Hall of Presidents or whatever
Oh,
that,
and then the
for
robo
Biden
sign.
it was the robo sign. I feel bad for Biden sometimes because he's just old as shit and senile.
Yeah.
And we all have had a grandparent or a parent that's gotten there.
My
and you're like,
father-in-law lived with
I'm like,
me.
wow, Joe Biden literally is my grandpa
Yeah.
because he just doesn't know where he's at. He's just like, Logan, I'm really proud of the.
When he would get
and you're just like,
angry,
oh, grandpa.
when he would get angry and he would start mumbling and then he would just get that angry
Yeah.
look, that is dementia.
Yeah.
That is dementia. That is sundowners. That is, I mean, in the stories that you hear of people that were in that administration, like he would roam in the White House at 2 a.m. I mean, the stuff. And it's like you let them just run down the country to the point. I'm really shocked that we were able to come back from where we were because 13 military died in Afghanistan. We had the ridiculous withdrawal from Afghanistan that was
Yeah.
a joke. Every military guy, I mean, to see not only what they did with the Secretary of Health, and that's what gets me. You're going to sit there and tell us that what we're doing is like controlling and fascism and stuff like that, and that we're a joke and that we're being laughed at by the other countries. You don't think the fact that we had people in military dressed in dresses and stealing people's suitcases with high heels and dressing in or having sex in the congressional building, like those things happened under the Biden administration. Cocaine found in the White House, someone having sex in one of the rooms of Congress. Like,
Hell yeah. That
I think it was gay sex though.
shit.
Like, yeah.
Well,
I mean, but
get that.
I mean, at the end of the day, you do you. I'm not here to judge,
No.
but I don't want that in my house of Congress. And I don't want naked people on the lawn of the White House for Easter. And I
Yeah.
don't want you to call, what did he call? I think it was Easter that he also called Transgenderism Day. Like,
Yeah.
is that not an insult? And then
Yeah.
you had transgender people naked on Easter. If that was not a slap in the face of every conservative Christian in this country, I don't know what is. But yet we're the fascists.
I'm really hoping that like when I'm calling it like the Trump era of politics, when that ends in a couple years, I'm really hoping that we can maybe reel it back a bit to get to like where we were. I mean, maybe that hate was always there between the two
Obama.
sides, but
It
like
started with Obama.
I feel like on 9/11, like the whole country came together and was like, we are one. And it was
Yes.
like, I don't think there's been a point in time like that since, even though like there's been
It
several
should have been
things
with
that
Charlie Kirk,
should have been,
but
but
people saw him as a hateful person, and I cannot. And I mean, I cannot.
people jumped for and cheered for his death. That's
The sad thing is that after Charlie Kirk's death, I'm looking at Facebook and I saw a couple of realtors that I had worked with that were cheering for his death, and I was like, if I died, would you cheer for me for my
right.
death? Is that where we're at? Because that really truly, I cried because there were two people that I thought the world of, that I thought were better than that I saw their true colors after Charlie Kirk died. And here I am weeping for a man I've never met. I don't know why that was, but I just know that it was somebody who was fighting for truth and fighting for being able to say what you want to say without being killed for it. And then he was killed
And then he
for it.
was killed for it.
Right.
But and what's even more heartbreaking about it, if you even want to like look at what happened to him and take both the left and the right and take the politics out of it, a man was killed in front of a group of
And his
people,
and his
his children
kids
and wife were there to see it.
watched it.
That is horrifying.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe you don't agree with someone's policy or someone's opinion, but we should not like if Kamala Harris was on stage giving a speech and she got assassinated,
I would
I would be
be,
devastated. That's
yes,
horrible.
that is, I
That's
mean,
horrible.
heinous. Yeah.
No one should ever die for what they believe in.
Mm-mm.
Abraham Lincoln died, Martin Luther King died,
JFK,
John F. Kennedy, and Charlie Kirk now.
Charlie
And
Kirk,
countless others.
and Jesus.
And Jesus. So the fact that people can just get killed and people cheer. I mean, you talk to any of those college kids, and Utah is, I think, a pretty blue state. Am I right?
Yeah,
You
more
talk to
blue.
any of those college kids, and they're all scarred for life. They saw a man bleed out in
Yeah.
front of them. Can you
Yeah.
imagine being in the front row of that?
No.
You see the footage of that boy that was in the front row, and he was like, I'm going to be so nervous for the rest of my life going to group events
People
like
who
this.
watch the video, and even I watched the
Ugh,
video.
The video is
I
horrible.
was actually on my way to my first happy hour event in Douglasville when the day that Charlie Kirk died. And my husband texted me and said, "Oh my God, Charlie Kirk was assassinated." And I called him, and I had just found the video, or I just basically wanted to see what, Charlie Kirk is. Is it real? Did it really happen? Is
Yeah.
this not just some,
Yeah.
left wing or crazy someone saying something? No. As soon as I refreshed X, the video happened
Mm.
and I saw it live. And I mean, when I say literally, I mean literally, oh my God.
Yeah.
And my husband's like, "Oh my God, what? What happened? What happened? Did you wreck?" And I'm like, "No, I just saw the video." And I couldn't help but send it to him. And he's like, "Oh my God, I did not need to see that." And we never saw it
You know
again.
what's horrible about this, Lindsay? Horrible about this is I saw the video, and then in a really weird way, and this is a problem about how desensitized we are to
Oh, yeah.
violence.
Video games.
Well, the video games, and I can't be a hypocrite about it. I play violent video games and I indulge in that, but I saw it happen
And
and I
you wanted to
watched it
see it
again.
again. You wanted to
I watched
see.
it a couple more times.
Yeah.
That night, we're sitting on the couch watching TV. I pulled it up and watched it again
Yes.
because I not only was just
Enamored.
wildly
Like,
just enamored about the fact that it happened,
right.
because at least in my generation of like millennials and the Gen Zers or whatever is after
We've
Gen
not
Zers,
see that
in our
live.
lifetime, I've never seen something like that. No,
Mm-mm.
you
You
can
know
even
what was supposed to be that way was Donald Trump,
well,
Pennsylvania.
it was supposed
He
to be.
moved his head, and thank God he did, because that was supposed to be an assassination on live TV. And that was supposed to happen before Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. Well, we've just never, other generations, with
JFK,
JFK and Martin Luther King
Yep.
and some of the big civil rights activists in like the 70s and 60s, like,
Mhm.
but then we've not seen that. The
No.
biggest, besides the school shootings, which are all tragedies,
Yes.
the biggest devastation event we've had was 9/11.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
only thing that that's like on a grand scale
And I think that is the
experienced.
last time that I've wept the way that I wept when Charlie Kirk died was 9/11. And I actually
I was like
watched as the
6.
second plane. I mean, I'm 46. So I actually saw that. I was on my way with my boyfriend at the time, who was ex military, to the Tennessee Aquarium. And I was in college, and we basically were sitting on the couch in my basement where my brother had shot the gun, the bullet through the wall. And my stepdad was upstairs, and he said, "Hey, did y'all see what just happened? The World Trade Center was just hit." So we turned on the television. CNN was the big thing back then. I don't think Fox News was even, maybe they were, 2001. But we were watching the smoke and everything from the first tower, and literally the second plane came in, and we watched it live. And
Wow.
I saw as that second plane hit, and I looked at him and I'm like, "Do we really want to go to Tennessee Aquarium? Like, what if they're next?"
Yeah, it's a large gathering of people.
Right. I didn't know what was going to be hit next. And so when Charlie Kirk died, I also expected that same bringing the country together. And I was shocked to see how many people cheered for his death and how many people were happy he died.
I think that
That
people
was,
I think that that was never going to happen, the people being united, because with like not the country, I feel like was attacked. It wasn't like it was
yeah,
an outside party
wasn't
attacking
political.
us. It wasn't
Right.
political. It
Yeah.
was, well, maybe it was political,
I
but
think
it
it
was.
was at the end of the day, but
But with Charlie Kirk, a man on one side of the aisle
yeah,
died versus
yeah,
9/11, people on both sides of the aisle died that day,
right.
or that week.
Yeah.
And just thinking that uh, the reason we couldn't come together as a country is because, well, some people were like, well, good, because that guy was poisoning the minds of young people. Because that's why people wanted him dead, is because he was going to college campuses and having these conversations with young
But the
people.
crazy thing is that the people that were allowed to speak, and they were some of the most, I mean, rude, heinous, leftist, liberal. I mean, I'm not saying all of those together, but one of the other, but they wanted it for shock and awe. And by the time Charlie got done talking to them, it wasn't that they were judged for how they thought. He
Mhm.
just flipped it in a way to make them think about the bigger picture, and that it's not as close-minded as what the deep state media wants you to think. And that is what the No Kings rally
Mhm.
reminded me of. I laughed. I didn't give it any attention because at the end of the day, you're celebrating a No Kings rally when this couldn't be further from a No Kings country, and you are just outraged by what the media told you to be outraged about this week. Because next week it's going to be something else. And that's the true difference. It's the brainwashed and the ability to discern.
Yeah, I just hate the fact that we're in this place where you really don't know who or what to trust. And it's like, I'm the kind of guy, I want to love everybody for who they are as people to
Exactly.
their core.
I don't
I don't care
care.
who you vote for. I mean, yeah, I might have
Exactly.
my opinions, but I don't care.
Right.
There's people at my house last night that voted for somebody else. I don't give a shit. I don't
Exactly.
care because
Yes.
that's not my whole life. Like, I've
Yes.
got more things to worry about and care about than whether someone voted for a different person at the
I don't
poll
care what
booth.
color you
I
are.
don't
I don't care what
care.
religion you are.
I
I
don't
don't care
care.
where you came from. My thing is that my husband came here legally. He came here. It took him 8 years. Okay.
Wow.
He came here with nothing but $20 in his
Which
pocket.
8 years? Come on. It shouldn't take that
No,
long.
it should not.
It should not take
No, they
8
lost his
years.
paperwork like 4 times. I mean, and
Jesus.
of course, my grandmother is, born in the days when she was like, "Oh my God, you're marrying a Mexican?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
and he's
Sure.
not illegal?
I mean, that would
He's
it's not
not legal. No, he's not legal." I
Uh,
mean, she was worried because here's this guy who's coming. He's from Mexico. I mean, she's thinking the worst, that he's just marrying me for a green card. I mean, the movie Green Card. I mean, come on, let's think back. And I assured her, like, no, I'm not,
yeah,
marrying just some other,
some guy.
some guy. And he's actually getting his
Yeah,
citizenship
this man is
before we get
pursuing
married. The proper
channels.
channels. Yeah. And he actually became a citizen right before we got married.
Wow,
And I
that's
really could
lovely.
not have been more
I
proud
love that
because
for
I
him.
watched him wave that flag at the immigration office and he said his oath. And I mean, I cried for him because I couldn't be more happy that he did it the legal way. And what people don't understand is when those people are cutting in line, they're jumping in line in front of these people that are trying to do it the right way.
Sure, and they're taking something away from the work that it takes to become a citizen of a
Right.
new country. It's just different. It's like the kids that, well, I cheated in college a couple times, but it's like the kids that cheat on tests. It's like you're just
This is what I did. I wrote the answers on the inside of my shirt and then
oh
I
shit.
flipped my shirt up
No way.
underneath the desk. Nobody could
That's a
tell.
very stretchy sweater.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. I haven't worn this sweater in so long. I lost weight. I lost 20 pounds.
Oh,
I
good
feel
for you.
great.
I
Yeah.
love that.
I've come off I'm off blood pressure medicine. I'm off birth control. I'm
What'd you
off
do?
of everything. First I came off birth control. I mean, we're all adults. We can all talk about this. I was
Yeah,
on birth
sure.
control for like 30 years
30 years.
for
Jesus.
like a medical, polycystic ovary syndrome. I had
Okay.
multiple cysts on both ovaries. So
Okay.
it was better for me to be on a continuous pill. Well, I did not know that was wrecking my whole life.
Yeah.
Like, and when I say my whole life, I mean my whole life. Like, my hormones were out of whack. I was gaining weight. I couldn't eat anything without gaining weight. And after 30 years, every doctor I talked to said it wouldn't be smart to come off of them. By golly, November, a couple of years ago, I came off of them. I said, I'm done. Lost 20 pounds within like 6 months.
Wow.
Feel better than ever.
That's amazing. I love that for you.
Yeah.
I went to the doctor a couple days ago, got my checkup or whatever. It'd been a while since I've been in, and I'm the kind of guy that like saves up like 5 or 6 things and then I go to the doctor. I'm like, all right, so I have a list in my phone.
Oh,
that's
you
just
better
called
hope you don't
doctor.
have gangrene or
I know,
something because
right?
the body part is going to fall off
For
by
real,
then.
for real. Like, hey, by the way, my arm feels like it's about to collapse. What's up? And so I went, and of course, you start your appointment when you go to the doctor by getting on the scale.
Oh, yeah.
And I got on the scale and I saw a number that I was truly like ashamed of. And in that moment, I was like, something's got to change.
Listen, the problem is the McDonald's that you and I ate as a
I
kid,
love it.
that is not the
You don't
McDonald's
have to
that
say
we
as a
eat
kid.
now. No,
I
I
had it
mean,
2 days.
beef tallow. They
Yeah.
used to make the ingredients with 2 and 3 ingredients. The fact that a Chick-fil-A sandwich has 42 ingredients or 78, however many ingredients, that is a problem.
Yeah.
We're not making simple foods with simple ingredients anymore. And that is why people are holding on to weight. They can't get the weight off. They're not.
We are supported by Jess Suro Photo. Jess Suro Photo offers personalized portrait sessions that bring out the best in every moment, whether you need family portraits, senior pictures, or photos for engagement announcements. Jessica combines creativity and expertise to deliver breathtaking images you'll treasure forever. She provides tailored sessions to fit your needs, high quality images with attention to detail, and fun, friendly, professional service. She's done our professional headshots at Your Morning Drive and Hammerhead Creations for the past couple years. We love her. We recommend her any chance we get. So go ahead and book her today. Capture life's most special moments with Jess Suro Photo.
Drinking as much water. And honestly, I don't drink a lot of water. My husband drinks a ton of water. Who ends up with kidney stones? Him, the one who drinks all the water.
I hate that for him. I've also had kidney stones, and that is something I wouldn't even wish on my worst enemy.
He actually thought he got food poisoning. And then they said, dude, this kidney stone is embedded in your ureter. It is so bad that it's about to block your urine.
Holy shit.
And he's like,
It must have been
I don't
huge.
even feel any pain. 8 by 9 millimeters.
Holy shit. That dude had a fucking rock in his damn urine. That thing.
They went in, they were going to do a lipotripsy where they were going to put him in the thing.
Oh, yeah.
But then they're like, no, wait, it's embedded. So we got to go through. And so they put him under at urology. It's actually right here in Marietta.
Yeah.
And they put him under right there. They went through and they pulled it out. But because it was so big, they had to blast it and then pull out the pieces. And now he's fine. But I'm just like, I don't know if drinking water is the best idea, because apparently drinking water a lot gets some people kidney stones.
It's so weird because, like, my kidney stones, I had them when I was 3.
What?
I know. I don't know how. I don't know. I do not know. But I had lithotripsy when I was 3.
Maybe your mom ate a lot of broccoli. And
well, I don't know. But what I do know is that I had them when I was 3. I don't remember it. But my parents talk about it like it was like a tragedy, because
I had staph when I was like 3, and I wore a patch like a pirate.
Oh, I had some shit too, and I had to wear
Staph
a
in my
patch.
eye.
And then I had kidney stones again in like 2019, and
it's hell.
It's hell. But my kidney stones have always been calcium based.
Yep, my dad's were.
So the fact that
they're pretty, they look like polished stones.
To this day, I've had a couple cheat days where I've had like maybe a little bit.
What do they tell you?
A glass of milk. Since then.
Milk. So they told you milk?
They said calcium in general. They were like, stay away from ice cream. Stay away
they
from
told
milk.
my dad had calcium ones, and they told my dad to stay away from broccoli and leafy greens.
Really?
They told him not to stay away from milk.
Weird.
And now the one that my husband just had was a struvite, but it was also calcium based, and they did not tell him to stay away from milk. So you might want to revisit that.
Maybe I do.
Because that might have been an old thing that they used to tell people, and now it's changed.
Well, what's funny is all through high school, I would like get home from school and I would pour myself a tall glass of milk. I love milk.
Ice milk. That's the only way I can drink it, is with ice cubes. And my husband thinks I'm weird, but see, I was born allergic to milk. I was allergic to milk, and I had to drink soy milk as a baby. And I think I was like 3 or 4, and I finally was able to tolerate lactose. So I drank milk and ate ice cream and did everything. And then suddenly in my 20s, I became crazy lactose intolerant. Like I could not eat ice cream, anything. I would get stomach pains, and suddenly it just went away. But I love milk, but only if it's super cold. Otherwise, I cannot drink it.
I love
it's
it.
nasty.
Now I drink lactose-free milk.
Yes,
because
lactate.
I'm allergic to soy, so I can't have soy. I'm allergic to almonds. I can't have almond milk.
Wow.
I'm allergic to goats. I can't have goat milk.
There's a problem why we are allergic to so many things. Now, I am allergic to 2 things, and it's because I had too much of it as a child. Penicillin, because every time I was sick, they gave me penicillin, and bees, yellow jackets, because I got stung like 80 times when I was 5 or 6 years old.
I've been stung 1 time in my entire life.
My brother and we stumbled upon a old car graveyard. Basically, it was in a field and it had trees around it and it was all these old cars. And we wanted to show my stepdad, and my stepdad was like, okay, we'll walk down there. Well, I had hair down to my butt. I think I was 5 years old. My brother, we all walked over there. Well, I stepped on an underground beehive and the bees started swarming. They started getting in my hair. My stepdad picked me up and my brother froze and he's like screaming, 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 bloody murder. My stepdad literally had to kick him in the ass to get him to move, kicked him to the point where he jumped off the ground and hit the ground running and kept running. He ran. He's pulling clobs of yellow jackets out of
Oh
my
my
hair by the
God.
handfuls. We get home, finally my mom puts a baking soda bath on. We clogged the tub
I'm
with
sure.
stingers.
I'm sure.
That's how bad it was. Our scalps, our
Wow.
faces, our bodies, everywhere. We were stung. And after that, I mean, they didn't get to the point of giving me an EpiPen, but said, like, if you get one sting, you're probably going to be okay taking a Benadryl. But if you have multiple stings, you might end up with a bad reaction.
Wow.
But penicillin, I will itch until I will scratch my skin off from penicillin.
Wow.
It becomes a bloody mess. So yeah, those are two things I can't have. And that's probably why you can't have the things that you can't have, because you may have substituted.
Maybe.
And I really don't agree with how they like to substitute things in our lives. Like now they want to substitute bugs. Like instead of protein, let's eat bugs. Instead of, yeah.
Bugs?
Oh, yeah. Like Canada, they have chips that are made out of grasshopper guts or something.
What?
You got to look at the ingredients now.
No way.
Yes, protein powders. Like by 2030, you'll own nothing and we'll all be eating bugs.
Wow.
Yeah. But certain things like almonds, you shouldn't be able to milk an almond. There's just nothing natural about that.
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, but we're the only species that drinks milk from another species. So that's kind of weird too.
That is weird.
I don't drink a lot of milk though. I drink it when it's very cold and I eat ice cream.
I don't know if I trust the first guy that went to milk a cow.
I don't know.
I don't know what he was doing.
You know,
It turned into something else.
there's people who actually swear by that unpasteurized milk.
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw that somebody was milking a cow, I've gone to the Kegel's Milk Dairy and they had like a corn maze and then did a tour. And I saw someone milking a cow and I was like, that was blood. And, you know, so me, I could not drink like raw milk, like straight from the cow. That
I
just
want to
grosses me
try
out.
milking one just to say I've done it, but I can't even
I've done it.
imagine.
I've done it. You have to pull really
to
hard
pull-
and it's like leather. It's like
Really?
really, yeah, they're tough titty.
Tough titty.
We have titty.
Wow, that's where that comes from.
There's a lot of teats on that.
Speaking of teats, can I tell you about one more
Sponsor?
sponsor?
Yes, you
Yeah,
can.
speaking of teats, let's be honest, guys. Social media is stealing time that you should be spending running your business. I'm sure you relate to that.
Yeah, my husband gets on to me for that.
Hammerhead Creations takes it off your plate. We build a simple strategy, create clean on-brand posts and reels, write the captions, and schedule everything so you don't have to, and so that your feed stays consistent while you stay focused. Do you need more? They also offer website polish, Google page help, and even podcast support when you're ready to record your own content. Start with social now and scale as you grow. You can book an intro call at hammerheadcreations.com. Hand off your social and get back to business. Hammerhead Creations, swim with the big sharks.
Awesome. Hammerhead.
Hammerhead.
I'm gonna get some business over to Hammerhead.
Are you?
Yeah.
Hammerhead is I.
Yeah, I
Hammerhead is
know.
me.
I know. We
It's
talked
not
about
full time.
my sister-in-law's.
Yes, we did.
Yes, I'm going to talk to her about that. We have somebody in the family that does graphic design and websites, but I don't know if they're calling back. So we'll check that out.
We will check
If
that
that
out.
doesn't work out, then we'll go that route. You know, in the mortgage industry, we cannot, like, we are so regulated down to the T that we can't just like hire outside people to do our websites kind of thing. You have to have certain
Sure.
like
parameters and there's
yeah, and they're
templates
almost
and shit you
templates.
have to
Exactly.
stick with.
Yeah. I mean, and there was a period that it got so strict, like I couldn't even share someone's listing. So there
Wow.
was, there was actually a house that was built entirely by Bud Light cans in Tennessee, apparently. And I thought it was so interesting that I shared it. I was like, hell, I mean, who
But
wouldn't
they saw
want?
the Bud Light and they're like, oh, it's alcohol and you can't.
No, it was because I was sharing someone's listing and I was not sharing 50% of the marketing expense for me sharing and publicizing their listing, that I needed to remove it.
Understood.
I didn't understand that because I was like, you know what? If it was a real house that somebody actually would buy, I would say yes.
No
That's
one's buying
probably
that house.
nobody is buying a house made out of Bud Light
Except for
cans.
Shane Gillis and
Okay.
Post Malone. Those guys are buying it. But other
No,
than that,
I mean, it is in Tennessee and it's actually a house made out of house, but I mean, the countertops are made out of Bud Light cans.
oh, that's
The
fun. I'm going to look this
walls,
up later.
everything is made out of Bud Light cans. I'm like, how many years did you have to drink to end up with that many Bud Light cans that you have made everything out of Bud Light cans?
How many cans did you hoard after you finished drinking?
Well, and I was at the first place that I ever did mortgages, my friend Yaz, he actually talked to me about an appraisal that he got. And it was funny because I ended up getting an appraisal that was almost exactly like it. But there was apparently a trucker or a guy who did driving for a living. And you don't realize how many to-go cups you get until you're a trucker and you do it for a living and you bring them home and you stack them in your house,
Yeah.
apparently. This guy, the appraiser had noted, like, I mean, back in the day, it did not come up as like, this is a C5 condition because the condition of this home is so bad that you need to have someone clean it up before you lend on it. But it came back in like very good condition. But I think people had stopped counting at like 146,000 cups that might have been in this house at one time.
Wow.
Because apparently this guy brought home every to-go cup he ever drank from and stacked it. So they were stacked
Oh my
throughout
God.
the entire house. Entire house.
Wild.
Yeah. The last time I got an appraisal like that, it was called a hoarding situation, and they were ordered to clean it out before we could actually do an appraisal. I mean, do a lending.
Yeah.
And we had to actually go back out there and get another appraisal. And it went from C5 to C3, and they got it done. And we got the loan done. Yeah. Took a couple months, but they
Yeah.
got it cleaned out.
But they got it cleaned out.
Yeah.
Lindsay, there comes a point in every conversation I have with my guests where I ask them a collection of questions that have nothing to do with what we've talked about so
Okay.
far. I just got to know you on a little bit of a personal level, a little bit of a professional level. But now I'm going to get to know you just like, who are you as a person? I'm
Okay.
going to ask you a bunch of first date questions.
Okay.
Are you ready for them?
Let's
It's been a
go.
while since you've been on a first date.
It's been
Yeah,
a long
it's been a
time.
while.
Like 20 years.
20 years. Wow.
Mhm.
Love that for you. Favorite movie? What is it? Favorite movie or like a comfort movie? Like if you had a bad day, you're like, oh, I gotta have this on in the background.
I mean, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
It's a good
one of
one.
my favorites.
It's a great one. Good answer. What was your first job ever? First time you were paid a paycheck?
Euro Wrap
Euro Wrap.
in the mall.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
And then I worked at Rich's I worked in the cool department at first, in the juniors department or the women's department, but then I got moved to lingerie. I saw some things in there that I wish I'd never seen, that my corneas might be burned forever. I mean, I had a lady who was probably in her mid 80s going on a cruise with her new fling and wanted to know if the thongs looked good. And I'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
She showed you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
It's like, yeah.
Do you know what I mean when I ask you what your walkout song would be?
Yeah.
What would your walkout song be?
Thunder.
Thunder?
Thunder. Feel the thunder.
Oh, yeah. Lightning and the thunder.
And the
Oh,
thunder.
yeah, that's a good one. It's a good one. On the same music vein, you get to organize yourself a music festival. You get to pick your 3 headliners. They could be alive or dead. Who are they?
Gosh, who's that new Christian singer that's like making I mean, I can't remember, but he sings a lot of happy songs. I probably have him just because he's a happy guy.
Mhm.
I like Coldplay.
Mm.
It's one of my favorite bands.
They're great.
So probably them. And the Beatles, because I think I was a Beatles groupie in my past life, and I just know every word to every Beatles song like I knew them in a past life, because I didn't listen to the Beatles a lot. My mom did when I was a kid, but I can turn on the Beatles now and sing every word of songs that I'm not sure where I know the words. And I
Wish I
love
knew.
Elvis. Elvis was another one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I used to have
this is great.
Elvis posters in my it was weird. I went through a phase where I had Elvis posters, and then I went to Tupac.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Elvis did a lot for with black music or black sounds.
Yeah.
So to
He
jump
was
from
known
him to
as the
Tupac,
the
yeah,
crazy. I mean, they didn't want their daughters to go to his
Mm-mm.
wild places because the way his legs shaked. I
No,
mean, they did
they-
not like that.
those legs were shaking. On a day that you aren't working in
Yeah.
any capacity, how do you take care of yourself? How do you recharge?
I mean, lately it hasn't been that easy to do that, but I typically garden, spend time with my dogs, spend time with family. Recharging is my mom is my rock. She is where I get a lot of my peace and my tranquility. It does not come from my own household, unfortunately, because I do a lot. I mean, my husband does a lot too. I mean, he's there to help, but it's amazing to me, and I think that I don't know if it's in every household, because there are probably men that are more clean and more just do more than women. And it's not like I'm keeping score or anything, but the amount of things that I get done in a day. And I mean, my husband works on loft stuff. So it's, he needs quiet time because he's got to be able to absorb, digest, and be able to write something out that's going to win an argument. But like I interrupt my day so many times that I feel like I don't get to recharge as much as him or, anybody else. For me, it is praying. I get a lot of peace from praying, and I do a lot more of it out loud than I used to, so if you see me at the grocery store and I'm like, God, what should I do? It's probably me talking to God.
God, do I need these Funyuns?
Yes, I don't need these Funyuns. No, I'm looking at the ingredients. I'm like, enriched bread? Nope, nope, nope.
Wow. Yeah.
That and spending time with dogs, because dogs are my second passion. And right now I have 5 dogs and 4 are seniors. So they're all having health problems. I have one with a neurological problem that is probably got months to live. I've got another with glaucoma and a heart murmur.
Jesus.
And then another one that just had half of his liver and his spleen removed for a tumor that was growing inside of him,
Oh my God.
and has the worst gas that you ever could imagine. And I feel like if I give him anything other than diet food, it's like
it's just shit
World
galore.
War III. I mean, I have to walk out of the
Oh,
room.
poor guy.
It's so bad.
Poor
Yeah.
guy.
And then another dog that just licks, has gastritis like constantly now. So usually it's having fun with dogs, but
Mhm.
lately it's been
Taking care
having
of
a
dogs.
senior center for
Yeah,
dogs.
Right. You're running an
Mhm.
old folks home.
Yes.
Is there a quote or a piece of advice that you've heard or been given yourself that you try to live every day by?
The whole watch theory, that basically a piece of, what is it? Never waste a day. That basically you are given this day and the day is to do good. And you want to be able to look back on this day and know that you made it better for somebody else. And so that's what I try to live by. And also to know your worth. A piece of, what is it? A spring, a piece of metal is worth iron, maybe $1, $5. But once it's built into an iron ore, it might be worth $20. But once it's built into a spring and a watch battery, it's worth $10,000. So don't underestimate your worth. It's about molding yourself to get you to that point where you're always worth something, but, molding yourself and bettering yourself to become that spring versus just that piece of metal. That's what it's about.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
very good. What is your biggest pet peeve?
Selfishness, and people in the mortgage industry and real estate industry that only look out for themselves. That is something I see and I hate it. And I hate it for the client, and I can't say anything about it. So that would be it.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
What's your biggest fear?
heights. I don't like heights, but I'm not afraid. I don't like to think of jumping from something, but I'm willing to stand. Like, I can't think of jumping out of an airplane, but I would be willing to wing walk. So it's not that I'm scared of heights, it's scared of what might come from the height.
Mm,
And so we have to stop thinking about what is going to happen from the action and just act. So there's another one for you.
there's a nice little tidbit.
Yeah.
Nice little tidbit.
Yeah. But that's my fear.
Well,
And I don't walk in fear. I walk in faith.
I like it. I
My
like it a
my
lot.
days are planned for me no matter what I do. So I do have free will and I could go run out in front of a bus and that might change that fate. But at the end of the day, as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, then I've got the faith that I'm gonna be guided.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then, Lindsay, lastly, what is your main motivator? What pushes you? What gets you out of bed in the morning? What is your morning drive?
Myself. And that's kind of crazy because a lot of people have external drivers like their kids or their family, or I cannot be stationary. And I think I mean, I probably realized my brother had ADD, ADHD all his life. I have ADHD. So I cannot sit still. I have to be moving at all times. I
Yeah.
need to be doing something.
always-
If I'm not, I'm fidgeting.
I'm fidgeting with my damn hat all the
It's my
time. I'm
foot.
twisting it around.
It's yeah,
so
it's
annoying.
moving my foot, moving
Yeah.
my and it's probably why I am in the business I'm in, because it's never the same. I'm not on a assembly line doing the same part every single day.
Yeah.
It's different every single day. So that to me, yeah.
I like it. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Lindsay, now I want to ask you to do me a favor and tell the people how to find you, how
right.
to get in touch if they're interested in working with you, all of those kinds of things. Plug away.
Well, Lindsay the lender, everybody calls me that. It's been catchy. I said, well, I could never go broker because Lindsay the broker just doesn't sound right. But I've been on the broker side. I'm on the lending side now. We have 42 investors. So we actually underwrite our own loans and fund our own loans, but you get the best of both worlds. So if a lot of people go with a broker because they can shop for the best price, but I actually have that. So
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to say to all you people listening out there. And I always look out for your best interest. And if that means that I don't do a loan, that means I don't do a loan. And there's very few of us out there that actually do that. So if you're looking for a fair and unbiased, honest opinion, or want to look at a refinance or a purchase, I don't do construction loans. I don't do renovation loans. I do second mortgages. I do have HELOCs. I would be more than willing to look at it and tell you what I can do. LindsayTheLender.com. You can find me pretty much anywhere on socials. I'm Lindsay Moss Frangie, Lindsay the Lender, or Lindsay Frangie.
Love that. I'll make sure that the links to those things are in the description of the episode so that if somebody is interested in any of that stuff, they can click around and find your links.
Thanks.
Thank you for doing this with me.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for so long. Now I want to talk some more. I'm going to go and talk to myself in the car and go talk to my husband when I get
Yeah.
home.
He'll be like, didn't you just talk for 2 hours?
Yeah. Aren't you tired of talking?
We
Yeah.
did talk for 2 hours.
Well, the funny thing is that it's great being married to a divorce attorney, because after him hearing all the conversations, the fights going on, the last thing he wants is a fight.
Yeah.
So he's like, honey, whatever you want to
He's
eat.
like, honey, whatever.
Whatever.
That's fine.
I'm good with it.
Yeah.
And then there's another thing. He's like, I never realized how good our marriage is until I deal with divorces.
Yeah.
As much as I do.
That's a great train of thought, a great tidbit
Yeah.
to think about every once in a while.
Well, yeah.
He sees the worst of the worst.
One, sometimes it's a one-stop shop because his client will need a refi and he sends them over to me. And then sometimes my clients are going through a divorce and I'm like, hey, you can pay if you want to fight, and he'll fight for you. But even uncontested, sometimes you need somebody to draw it up and know that it's written right. And he's willing to do that as well. So
Love that. But yeah, thank you for doing this with me.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thanks for
taking the
having me.
time. I know you're a busy lady, so it's really cool that you did this with me.
Well, take your swag. I know you're
Well,
going to enjoy your chip clip and your cups. These change blue when you put cold water in them.
get this pizza
Yeah.
cutter too.
And the pizza cutter. That is the world's best pizza cutter. Let me tell you. I went to a real estate expo and Georgia MLS had those pizza cutters. And of course, it had their logo on it. That pizza cutter, after 10 years, is still in my drawer. It is the #1 pizza cutter. It will cut brownies, cupcakes, anything you want to cut. It's going to cut it with precision. You can put it in the dishwasher. You can take it apart and it washes just fine.
Oh, these are fun with the little house.
Yeah.
Looks like a house. Oh, that's cute.
With the little
Thank you for
magnet.
bringing this stuff. This is cool. This is cool.
I know
love
you
it.
said you wanted some swag, so
I love
thought I'd bring you
swag. I've got
swag.
this great.
Swag.
I measure success, Lindsay, only by the amount of knickknacks that people give me, and I have a shelf that is very much so in the early stages, but I will make a very proud
Well,
addition to it.
just like you
today.
said, that there's some crap that you get at expos and things that you're like, what am I going to do with this? I get things that are usable. I
Yeah.
mean, a pizza cutter, a cup, and a chip
A
clip.
chip clip. Everyone
Chip
needs
clips.
chip clips.
Oh my gosh, I'm always breaking them.
Yeah,
They're always like
always.
flinging
And then
breaking.
I'm like so destructive in my head that I like fidget with it, and then I
Mhm.
get it to where it's like off.
Yeah,
And then I just
sideways.
am like one.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, thanks for
Thank you.
tuning in. Thank you, Lindsay, for being here and giving me some time on your Sunday. And we'll see everybody next time.
Enjoy your drive.
See ya.